Okay, well, welcome everyone. I know other people will be coming in. Don't worry. I will let them in. I'm going to be doing the back office stuff. As you can tell, it's crazy in here. But we have my beautiful, gorgeous friend, Meara Buck, here today that I got the privilege to spend some time with a few years back, and I've just loved her ever since. Um, oh, Chrissy. Oh, that's no worries. No worries at all, friend. And so that's what I love about it. She's taking a break from social media. Listen, sometimes our brains can only take so much in. Here's what I want you to know. If you are on social media, we do have a Lunch and Learns Facebook page. It's Mary Kay Ash. It's like red vintage from back in the day when she was on front of the Applause magazine. That's how you know you have the right group. We'll let you in. I post the recordings there. So this will be recorded. If you're not on social media, do not panic because after this recording sent, my office girl puts it on YouTube and it's just my name, Jennifer Enlow. Um, and so we do that. And so we will be going into July. We're going to continue. I know everybody was asking if I was going to continue or not, if I was going to let it go. I don't even understand how this thing has gotten so big, but it has, and people are losing ever loving mind. So we're going to continue into the new seminar year. We will have it. So you're welcome. It's for, I don't care if your ink is wet on your agreement, all the way to national from other countries. This has been showing up everywhere. And I just want to say, I want you to truly appreciate all the speakers because really all they're getting from this is just feeding back into the Mary Kay world. Like, this doesn't financially benefit them in any way, shape, or form. They're doing this by the goodness of the heart, the go give spirit, and to share like Mary Kay wanted us to, right? Your midweek pick me up, because most of you probably have meetings at the beginning of the week. This might help you because sometimes we get towards the end and we're like, we're not really going to do anything to. I'm just, no, you're not. You're going to keep working all the way through the weekend, right? We're going to keep our goals going. And that's what I love about this. It gives us some inspiration, a little pick me up. Sometimes, I don't know, maybe you're having an amazing week. Sometimes you've been knocked down a few times. And this will give you what you need. And so we have some great headliners for this new. I can't believe how many people are reaching out to me to ask to be speakers. I'm like, absolutely. This is amazing. So just know what I was saying earlier before I hit record is I don't know, I just randomly do some giveaways sometimes for people that are on here. So if you've been on and you haven't seen, um, you might have won something. So go check the Facebook group out, see if your name is tagged in there, and I'll mail you something if send me a private message and get me your address. I'll send that. Billy, you were the winner a couple weeks ago, so make sure I get your address and I'll send you your present if you haven't done it yet. Okay, I just saw you pop on, so you were the winner. So, yay! So let's start. Let's have fun. We're wrapping up seminar year in, right? Amazing things, and we have my beautiful friend. She is as beautiful inside as she is on the outside. She's easy on the eyes. I think she's incredible, the most amazing heart, her spirit, her fun. That's what I remember the most that I loved about her. She's so fun. And I was like, oh, like, somebody just meet someone like, I kind of want to hang out with you on a Friday night. I think it'd be fun. That's Mira. She's incredible. And so, oh, I need to spotlight you. Do you mind if I spotlight you, friend?
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And if that bothers anybody else, like they can't handle that and they need to see the Brady Bunch, just go to the top and hit gallery and it'll put us all back in boxes again. So some people's eyes can't. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about that. But I'm going to shush up. I'm going to let Mira take over because she is your guest speaker today. She is sensational. Get your pen and paper ready. And my friend, thank you. Thank you again for taking your time in a busy month to pour into the whole Mary Kay world, just because you love us. And I appreciate you.
Mm. I appreciate you. Well, hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I am so privileged to be with you today. And thank you, dear friend, for this sweet invitation. I mean, truly, I'm honored. You are a true treasure, Jennifer, and a shining example of leading with heart, grit, and grace. This Lunch and Learn, it is a gift. You know why? Because you are here or you are listening to the replay. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's go, friends. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh my gosh. Can you tell I'm like a party in and of myself? She was right. Okay, so Lunch and Learn, let's light this up. I am going to share with you just a teeny bit, and I'm going to try to talk as fast as I can because I made some notes. I'm usually good at extemporaneous speaking. I usually do bullet points and that kind of thing to keep myself on track so I don't overtalk or undertalk or whatever. So, Jennifer, just give me a high sign if I need to hush or like send a message because I'm actually using some notes. So I'll be looking at that. But I am the MAD, mad woman, motivated and determined Meara Buck for like over half my life. I'll just say it that way. I have done one thing with passion: help people get what they want through this amazing Mary Kay product and business opportunity. And for the past 5+ years, since that thing we all went through together, well, and even before that, I've gone live weekly to encourage women across America who feel stuck. Why? Because I've been there and I believe in solutions. I do not like going through life without some great solutions. So, um, before we dive in to the foundation of what I have learned, I want to share just a bit of why I started and why I've stayed for over, okay, this might be remarkable to you. You might not believe it, but yeah, over 40 years. 40. I did say 40. Okay, I was 2 when I got started. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't really, but it's really quite simple. I started using Mary Kay products when I was just 15 years old. My mama became a consultant to save money on the products that we loved, and the idea of earning extra income really appealed to her. Every time she scheduled and held a beauty show, that's what we called them then, she was super successful. She'd come home with cash, and I would get to count the cash. I love that. That's why I became a banker when I was 16 years old. It was kind of crazy. Anyway, but that left a mark on me, counting the cash. And so, years, just a few years later, I was young, a newlywed military wife. I became a consultant for many of those same reasons: to make extra income and to have flexibility, but also because my mama believed in me. When somebody believes in you and someone you love believes in you, it really plants a seed. I also did not want to be a, oh, I wish I'd done that kind of girl. I wanted to be a, I am so glad I did. And can you tell? I'm really glad I did. Now, was every moment that way? Not exactly. But you know what? I've had more of those moments, the glad I did moments, than anything else. So I started my business to earn enough to buy a crib for the baby that I was expecting in just 2.5 months. And thanks to my first 5 shows, I did just that. I paid for that crib in cash. Okay. Since then, I've moved 14 times across the nation, coast to coast and back again, and everywhere in between, it seems like. And I've lived through just about every season a woman can walk through: military wife, new mom, single mom, blended family, business leader, caregiver, nurse upstairs, executive downstairs, and even through a near death experience as a survivor and thriver 15 years ago. And through it all, Mary Kay has been my mission field, my community, and my classroom. So, why do I stay? Why do I stay? Well, because I made a promise that I haven't fulfilled yet. You know, as a brand new consultant, I had the once in a lifetime opportunity to meet Mary Kay Ash, face to face. And later during my DIT week, director in training week, I got to speak with her privately. I said, Mary Kay, how can I ever thank you for what you've done for me and my family? And she simply said, oh, honey, just pass it on. Just pass it on. And I told her, I promise I will always. That promise still lives in me. I believe I've been preserved for a purpose and called with a message meant to give hope to others. So I stay with joy. Do you know what joy stands for? Jesus, others, and you. So the next part I'm going to talk to you about is then, now, always. Some of the first life shaping lessons that I learned came straight from Mary Kay Ash. She said at one of the very first seminars that I was at, you may be the only Bible that some people will ever read. What a gospel according to you. Oh my gosh. I thought, well, I don't know, but I want it to be good. So I'm going to give you a business version of that. You may be the only Mary Kay some people will ever meet. What impression are you leaving behind? I learned early from my mother, my recruiter, Rita Mitchell Dyer, and my director, senior director, and then national sales director, Patricia Lane, that this business starts with number one, attitude. So if you're taking notes or you like to take notes, that can be your first point. Your thoughts become your words become your habits, and your habits build your life. So, how fast can you change your attitude? I taught my granddaughter when she was 2 years old and she came down with a grumpy attitude one day. I said, "We are going to try something new. Smile, nod, um, take action in the positive." That's SNAP. But I also wanted her to snap. So I said, "I'm going to count down from three, three, two, one, snap." She's like, "Gigi, I can't snap." I said, "I'll snap for you. Don't worry." She was two. What did I expect? Anyway, but I learned that because you literally can change your attitude that fast. You don't have to have a bad morning. You can have, or a bad day, or a bad week. You could have a bad moment. And remember that everything is light and momentary. Everything in this life is light and momentary that you may be going through. So, one of the first books that I ever was recommended to read was What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Dr. Shad Helmstetter. You, I think, can find him on Facebook. You might be able to find that book on eBay. It was a fabulous book. But it's one of the ways that I learned neuro linguistic programming, positive thinking, and positive words, right? And so, for example, one of the very first lessons I learned was not to say, don't forget, because don't, the word don't, bypasses the subconscious mind. And then what are you doing? Commanding your brain to forget. Well, who needs that? Nobody needs that. Okay, so instead you say remember. So we want to speak in positive commands. Like when my kids were really little and I had learned this, my friends were telling their kids, don't spill the milk, out of those sippy cups, the Tupperware ones that still spilled. Now they don't have those anymore, but, not the same way they have them that don't spill when you tip them over. But at the time, my kids were little and they did. And I was like, keep the milk in the cup, keep the milk in the cup. Or when you're at an event and you want someone to enter your drawing, do you say something like, would you like to enter the drawing? I never say that. And when people have worked with me at large events, and we've had multiple consultants at them, I always tell them, your dialogue is this. Guess what you get to say? Remember to enter before you go, because I want everyone to have a chance to win. We want you to win. So remember to enter before you go, not would you like to? That's a yes or no question. I don't ask those. I just don't. I learned because of Mary Kay. So let's talk about point number two, belief. Okay, this is where we gain power in the present. First of all, do you have a belief in God? Now, it is not required for everyone to be a Christian or to believe in God, but I'm telling you that that's what I base my life on. Yeah, you can kind of tell. Um, and I'll give you this. All it takes is to believe in your heart and confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord and that his sacrifice on the cross reconciles you to God the Father and gives you access to the Holy Spirit every single day. Now, if you don't have that, that's literally all it takes. You can have your own private conversation and then you have the ability to believe in yourself. Now, I may have lost some of you. Just charge it to my heart and not my head because, yeah, I've banged my head a few times. Anyway, believe in yourself is the second point. Belief in this company, our products, the process. That's the next point. Belief that what Mary Kay Ash said is true. Working will win where wishing won't. So, to that end, do you treat your business with the respect it deserves? Or does it come after every other thing on your list in life? You probably have a big list. I know I do. Everybody does. But Mary Kay taught us God first, family second, career third, not 33rd. And it can go in line or alongside of your JOB. I like to call that sometimes, if you feel this way, the journey of the broke or just over broke. But it is really what gets you or fills the gap between starting your Mary Kay business and getting to where you want to go in your Mary Kay business. At least it did for me. So let's ground ourselves in practical power. What are some of the things that you can do that Mary Kay taught us? Well, the 6 most important things list. Do you do it every night? Do you do it every night? It doesn't have to look like this. I just happen to have one of these handy. Um, but you do want to do it. Now, here's the way you prioritize that. If you had enough time in a day, the next day, to do one thing that would move you further and faster toward achieving your goal, then what is that one thing? That's number one on your list. And if you got that done and you still had a little bit of time left over, and you could do a second thing that would be the next best thing to get you further and faster toward achieving your goal, then what would that second thing be? That's number two on your list, and so on. Do you get it? Because most of the time, you're not going to get through all 6. And you can carry them over to the next day if they're incomplete. But you want to make sure you prioritize that. It's not your laundry list of things you need to do. It is literally the thing that will take you further and faster toward achieving your goal. Okay. The second thing, do you know your averages? Okay. Here's my caveat to that. I don't think you can have averages until you have met with or put product on through sampling of some sort at least 100 faces. You don't have data. Okay. So give yourself a break. We used to say in the South when I lived there, cut yourself a huss, you know, just give yourself a break. And you want to get to 100 faces and then look back at the history of that. Then you can look at your data and go, okay, now what is my average? What is my average per face? What is my average per session? What is my average per week? Okay, so the third point on this part of the list is attract number grows. How many times have you heard somebody say that? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be tracked. It could even be like on a spiral notebook or a notepad. But do you have a system for it? Do you have a system so that you can track? Do you have a system for personally following up? Do you have a system for how you layer team building information? Do you have some way? Some of you might recognize this. It's just a little conversation piece that I can use to share team building information, just another layer. Okay, I'll stop there on the practical stuff, but I want you to remember that this is about your belief. So remember that you will move in the direction of your last most predominant thought. Your dominant thoughts drive your direction. So let's make sure that they're rooted in faith and not fear. When you share the Mary Kay opportunity, are you coming from belief and gratitude or not? We are privileged to live in the land of opportunity and to represent the number one opportunity in the land. So I remember it was said not long ago that if you're going to make up a story in your head, you might as well make up a good one. Well, I was challenged by someone I love in my life not long ago. And she actually said to me, how about we just stop making up stories in our heads? Want to know something? You want to know what the story was, why she postponed, why she didn't show, why she didn't answer, why she didn't text you back. You don't know what other people are going through. So stop making up stories in your head. Seek the facts if you even need to know. Make no assumptions and then just take action and be filled with grace. Be filled with grace. What would Mary Kay do in that situation? She would probably follow up until she gets, an answer that is, no, I'm not interested. And remember to dream big, plan big, believe big, because your belief at the beginning of an undertaking will shape your results toward the end, at least of this next step. National Sales Director Emeritus Cheryl Steinman once said this, and I wrote it down on a business card because she said she kept it with her all the time. And I thought, well, that's a really good idea. She said, when God is going to do something wonderful, he begins with a difficulty. But when he is going to do something very wonderful, he begins with an impossibility. The things that are impossible with men are possible with God. For with God, nothing is impossible. Wouldn't you agree with that? I love that. And yes, that is a verse from the Bible. So you can go look that up in like version and figure out where the address is of that verse because I did not take the time to do that today. Okay, number 3 is C. C for confidence and future focus. Healthy things grow, growing things change. Change invites challenge. I'm going to repeat that again. Healthy things grow, growing things change. Change invites challenge. Mary Kay is the place where I learned from Mary Kay Ash herself because she would say this to us from the stage at seminar. I believe you can find a way over, around, under, or through any obstacle that stands in your way. So, how do you build self confidence for that? Well, self confidence comes from repetition and mastery. When I was starting out, we booked 8 appointments to hold 5 in 2 weeks. That was the rule. That was just SOP, our standard operating procedure. But that's 30 faces when we did it right. We had to have 6 people at every single appointment. And that builds momentum. Wouldn't you agree that that is confidence building to build momentum like that? And then we were always taught that at every single show you hold, you book from it. Okay, I know that lead generation is a big deal for a lot of people. Sorry. But it doesn't have to be if you're asking for personal recommendations, which always equals referrals, but it's a new way of saying it, personal recommendations, then you can always book from every appointment. Is it your, it needs to be, I would say, your SOP. Each woman you meet has a level of trust with you. If she saw you in person or bought a set, she gets a follow up appointment, no exceptions. Here's a little that I just wrote with the help of ChatGPT. Book a follow up before you jet, and your service and success are a safe bet. Book a follow up before you jet, and your service and success are a safe bet. Remember, well, I'm sorry, I keep saying remember, I'll say reminder. Here's a reminder for you. Mary Kay Ash said this herself. I thought it was so funny. Oh my gosh. The mind can absorb only what the seat can endure. That's about 30 minutes. And then your butt falls asleep. Okay, she didn't say that last part, the butt falling asleep part, but that's the truth. Keep your appointments short, sweet, and full of service and solutions. They really want you to get through, get done, get out, because they really just want to talk about you anyway. That's what Mary Kay said. She said, keep them to 30 minutes, get through, get done, get out, because they really just want to talk about you anyway. So make it worth their words. We book, we coach, we sell, we team build, we rinse and repeat. The more we practice, the more we win. So let's talk systems. Time awareness. Okay. The reason I say time awareness is there is no such thing as managing time. There's just awareness of time. And I want you to pay attention. If you don't know how you're spending your time, if you're doom scrolling, if you realize you're spending way too much time on social, then maybe limit it to an hour. Give yourself an hour and come up with a plan of what to do in that 1 hour a day. And then stop. Set a timer and stop when the timer goes off. And then if you're not aware of how you're spending the rest of your time, do a time study every 30 minutes, write down what you're doing just for a week. See what happens. Look at your patterns and where can you put God first in your time allotment and awareness, your family second, and your job and career third, your Mary Kay career third. Okay. The second point is financial management. It costs less to grow a good business, a healthy business, than to maintain it. It costs less to maintain it than it does to have to fix it. So begin building good habits today when it comes to financial management. Pay things down as you build things up. Pay things down as you build your business up. And then emotional mastery. I'm no counselor, so I'm not going to give you any advice here other than we act on faith, not feelings. That's what's over my head. We act on faith, not feelings. And feelings and thoughts are not facts. Just because I feel it or think it doesn't mean it's factual. Is it true? Is it helpful? If it's not, then I can change that thought, right? That is how you can learn to self coach to rein in your emotions and become an emotional master. And then the last point, these are the 4 points that Lori Mayfield Banks always talks about: skills growth. Work the business and respect the process. Work the business and respect the process. You know, Mary Kay was the original Facebook originator. You want me to prove that to you? She said, see a face, book a face. That's Facebook. See a face, book a face, build a show was what she taught us. Because one becomes three. Hey, I'm so glad to meet with you. Who are the two good friends that you could think of that would want to join you? They would feel so bad if they missed out. And then, you know what? Once she thinks of those two people, then make sure each one of them invites one of their friends and you invite one other person. And there's 6 people. 6 is the magic number. Mary Kay devised that. She tested more, she tested less, and she figured out that 6 was the point at which you could still have a great personal connection with every single person who attended. And then you have the ability to follow up and deliver the product on the spot and become more successful. So become the Pied Piper in the room. What do I mean by that? Smile, sample, and share your story. Those are the 3 S's. Share your story or share so you can find out their story. When we use the 3-foot rule that Mary Kay used to teach us, she said we talk to everyone within 3 feet of us. They deserve your light. They deserve a smile. If you have one on you, make sure you do. Give them a sample and then share to find out their story or give them a little bit of your story and that you want to get together with them and follow up. A stranger, Mary Kay used to say, a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. And every problem you face, Mary Kay said, it can be solved or improved at least by holding a show. So teach from action, not from theory. All right, what's the next part of this? My 3 Ds to long term success. I've only got a couple minutes left, so I'm going to try to hurry. I hope you can listen as fast as I can talk. But here's what's helped me stay the course through decades. The 3 Ds are what I received as my life message when I nearly died from a pelvic abscess that had left me in sepsis 15 years ago. And when I recovered from that life-saving surgery where they told my husband they nearly lost me twice on the table, he didn't tell me that for a year. I'm so glad he didn't. But anyway, when I recovered from that, I kept asking God, what did you preserve me for? What is it? What message am I supposed to give to people? So here it is. This is probably the most important of the whole, most important thing that you'll hear me say all day. 3 Ds. First, decide. Decide. CIDE means to cut off all other options, pesticide, homicide, God forbid, things like that. CIDE means to cut off all other options. So make a determined decision or decide what it is you truly want. Number 2D of the 3 Ds is daily choices. Align your daily choices and your actions with whatever it is you already did decide. And the third D, okay, this one's a little tougher. It's the word discipline. Okay, now I'm not seeing anybody on the screen because I'm looking at my notes, but I'm going to look later when I rewatch this on the replay for myself because I always like to learn like what I did okay and what I could improve on later by watching it again. So if you love the word discipline, which is the third D, then tell me that now by raising your hand. Yeah, I don't think many people are raising their hands. Discipline. Well, my sister used to say this anonymous quote to me all the time. And I thought, will you stop saying that to me? Because it's so trite. I hate you saying that to me. And she would say this over and over and over again. And one day it dawned on me what it really meant. And I thought, oh, now I get it. Oh, I could have had a V8 moment. Like, yeah. Anyway, she said this: discipline is remembering what you want. Discipline is remembering what you want. I will tell you that the day that I discovered what that really meant, I was standing in my office 5 months and 7 days after that life saving surgery. begging God to take a very unhealthy in my physical body, me, and transform me into a much healthier version of me. My mother was upstairs. We had 4 generations in our home at the time. I was her primary caregiver, and she was on 3 liters of oxygen 24/7. And I thought, if I do not make better choices today, I am going to end up like that. And who will take care of me? I have boys. Boys are not natural caregivers. I thought, yeah, maybe my granddaughter. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that to anybody. So I decided I was going to get really healthy. And then it made sense. Discipline is remembering what you want. So I didn't focus on what I saw in the mirror. I focused on where I wanted to get to, the healthiest version of me and what that looked like. That's how I remembered what I really wanted. So decide daily choices that support you in succeeding in what it is you did decide, and discipline is remembering what you want. And then this, we lead 3 ways: by example, and again, by example. Mary Kay Ash said that herself. Here are my last 2 minutes, y'all. Okay, you are already a master at booking. Want me to prove it to you? Remember your first play date? Like, think back to how old you were when you made your first play date. Like, somebody invited you to their house, you went and asked your mom. How old were you? Just think about that. Whenever that was, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, whenever that was, or maybe your first date and you like convinced mom to let you go to the movies, right? Think about that. You asked, you arranged it, you got it set, and you got it done. That's booking. You are a master booker. You just apply that same skill to your business. That's all you're doing. Okay, let me prove to you another thing. You're also already a master team builder. You want me to prove that to you? Very simply. Remember Girl Scouts? Choir, Bluebirds, Brownies, the soccer team when you were really little, the Pee Wee one, remember? You didn't want to be alone doing it, so you invited your friends. You brought them in. That's team building. You are already a master team builder. Now, all you get to do is apply it to your Mary Kay business. And it's like 2 legs. Mary Kay said it's just like a man with 2 legs. One is sharing the product, and the other is sharing the business. Don't be lopsided. We want to walk, not hop. We don't strengthen one without the other. Make it a policy to share with 100% of the people that you meet with. You can say at the end, my friend Lily Eggleston here in Austin, Texas, Pink Cadillac top sales director, says all the time at the end of her appointment, I made a commitment that I would share a little bit about how we make money and what we do in our business with every single person that I have the privilege of meeting with. So I'm going to take just 2 minutes and share. And whichever way you want to share. Do you want to use an acronym? Is that fast and quick and fun and easy? Does it keep it fun? Or maybe it's the simple, if I only had 5 minutes to tell you what you needed to know to make a more educated decision about whether you'd want to give this a try or not, what would you really want to know? One of my friends said her sister asked her, do I need to wear a dress to the meetings? She's like, well, yeah, you see me wear a dress all the time. Of course, that'd be easy. She goes, that's all I needed to know. I can say yes now. I was like, okay, but it's because women do life together. We were made for community. It's in our DNA. Proof: 2 women, okay, 2 couples at a dinner. One girl says to the other girl of these couples, hey, I'm going to the bathroom. Gotta go? She's like, no, I don't need to go, but I'll go with you. Okay. Could you imagine the men saying that? Not so much. So let me leave you with this enthusiasm. Mary Kay taught us years ago that enthusiasm means enthos, God within, plus IASM. I am sold myself. Are you sold yourself on what you have to offer? If not, I hope you get there. And then focus. Can you tell I like acronyms? Focus is follow one course until successful. And finally, my motorcycle safety course. Yes, I'm a Harley owner and rider. But I learned in my motorcycle safety course, you steer where you stare. You steer where you stare. So, what picture of success for yourself are you staring at? Let's go live, lead, love, and leave a legacy that represents a great attitude, sincere belief, developing confidence, and determination, all of our 3Ds. Then, now, and always. I believe in you. And I know, like Mary Kay told me the first time I met her, I believe you can do it. That's what I got for you today.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible. So many nuggets to that. I love, love, love it. I'm so glad we have it recorded so we can go back because I think I would get something different the next few times I listen to it. We have a few quick minutes. If anybody has a question or wants to unmute or affirm, Merritt, you're more than welcome to do that right now. You'll just have to unmute. And I'm going to go through. I don't think there's any questions in the chat. I'm going to look real quick.
Hi,
Yes,
I'm
go ahead.
Chrissy. I'm not gonna undo my uh face because I'm
Okay.
not looking Mary Kay attire and I got family in the background and all the things in life. So I appreciate your grace. Oh goodness, I just thank you, God, for you today.
Mm,
Thank you for bringing us with your enthusiasm and your love for this company and your love for God. First of all, let's just back up. First and foremost, your love for God and sharing all your little nuggets and I love your acronyms. I'm like trying to write them down. I missed a lot. So I was hoping maybe somehow, some way I could get your acronyms because that's how I learn. I'm a learner by acronyms. So, many blessings to you. I'm a military wife. I'm prior
mhm.
service. So I related to you on that aspect as well as Mary Kay. Firstborn was born and I'm going to stop rambling because I'm sure there's other young ladies on here on this call that want to bless you and tell you how you bless them. Um,
Mm,
yeah,
thank
I'm glad I was on this call because I just the other day told myself I need to get closer to God.
you.
My son's going through some things and I need to be stronger in my faith. So I'm taking a social media timeout. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I am trusting and walking in confidence and faith even more after listening to you today. So thank you so much for your time today.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. To answer that really quick question, the 3Ds, um, thank you for your comments. Because of where I have my stuff around my screen, I'm like, I can't even see who that was. So thank you. That was so precious. And I love what you said. Thank you. And then the question was the 3Ds. The first one is decide, to cut off all other options. The second one is daily choices, making sure that your daily choices let you take the actions that will help you succeed in whatever it is you did decide. Your decision doesn't change. You literally burn the ships, right? And then the third D is discipline. Discipline is remembering what you want. So it's just really quick and easy. But yeah, I seem to be able to expand on it all the time.
Okay, making sure
Okay,
we're
was
not.
there any other? I kept clicking on the chat. It wouldn't like populate over here for me, and now all of a sudden it just did.
I don't see any other questions. Anybody else have anything? You're welcome to unmute real quick. I don't want to miss anyone. I don't see any hands up or any emojis. So I'm looking real quick to make sure. Okay. Well, ladies, I'm so excited for our year end. And all it's really going to do is set us up, for next year also to really run the race all the way. You don't stop. Listen to me. You do not stop June 30th. You might give yourself an extra hour of rest, but that's it. Then you get up and you go again. We don't celebrate all of July and forget a whole month of our
Mm.
year. You just roll right in, you do the same things daily over and over and over. It's the biggest tip I could ever give you in my 25 years. Just keep doing what you're supposed to do every day in, day out, no matter what day it is. So I hope you all have an amazing Thursday. Thank you so much, my beautiful friend.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, too. And I just want to give one challenge to everybody who's on or who's listening after the fact and the replay, just to Jennifer's point right now. And that is literally honor Mary Kay. You can do two things. You can read her autobiography, definitely grab it, read it again. I don't care if you read it, 15 times, go ahead and read it one more time. It's worth it. Highlight all the stuff that you've never highlighted or underlined before. But here's what I would tell you: the challenge: book 8 to hold 5 in the first 2 weeks of July. That's how you roll into the new year. You practice this month for what you want to see, like practice today the things you want to see in this next week, which is the last, going towards the last week of June. And as you roll through this week, then continue to book more and more. If you book one a day from now, if you just book one appointment for the next 2 weeks, anytime it fits into your schedule, one a day for the next, till the end of the month, then you're probably going to have that 8 shows booked for early July. Obviously not the 4th, unless you've got a party that you can go to and you can share product there. But you're going to hold at least 5 of those appointments, and you'll be on track for doing it again and again and again and again. And everybody that comes to an appointment deserves 2 more follow-ups, one for color, one for all the ancillary products. So make sure that that they have 3 appointments with you. If they didn't buy, they get it for half off or free for hosting. If they did buy, it's their follow-up, right? We always do that. That's what we learned from Mary Kay Ash herself. So that's how I would interpret what you just said, Jennifer, is we're going to keep rolling because the date on the calendar doesn't matter. We just get to reset to 0 on July 1st at 12:01 a.m.
We
and
all
see what
have
the
A's.
new theme is. You what?
We all have A's. July 1, we all have A's. It's like, just like in school, it's amazing. You always start with an A. I would tell my daughter, she's like, Mom, I start with nothing. I'm like, no, you start with 100% an A every time you restart. You get to choose if you stay there or not. So, all right, my friends, have an amazing Thursday.